He calls himself the Grim Reaper. Well, he's got some reaping to do when it comes to his opponent. First 24 hours of the new Mitch McConnell opponent, challenger Amy McGrath, smashing fundraising records. $2.5 million. It's the most ever raised in the first day of a Senate campaign in all of American history. Former Congressman Steve Isreal ran the re-election committee for the Democrats and knows his way around this stuff. You'd love to get some numbers like that, huh?
Oh, my gosh. That just breaks all records. Well, it's a reflection of the seething resentment that Democrats have towards Mitch McConnell. Remember, when Barack Obama was elected, what does Mitch McConnell do? First thing he says is, our first job is to make him a one-term president. Then he obstructs, and then he denies the Senate a vote on a Supreme Court nominee, Merrick Garland. So there is a seething resentment. Now, here's the thing, Ari. Kentucky is viewed as a red monolith, but it really isn't. It had a very popular two-term Democratic governor, Steve Beshear, until 2015.
Well, Republicans would tell you when it comes to the federal races, they do pretty well.
Well, right now, in this federal race, Mitch McConnell is polling somewhere in the mid-30s.
Why is that? Do people in Kentucky, do you think they don't like him?
They don't like the fact that he reflects everything that is wrong in Washington, D.C., the swamp and the bureaucracy. I mean, he's been around for a long time, and Amy McGrath has the right profile. Marine combat pilot, ran for Congress, lost by 3 points in central Kentucky. So she's got the right profile to make this a race.
You mentioned her. The money is obviously being noticed. That's both about her and it's also, as you say, about the nationalizing of the race. Let's take a look at this brand new character in politics, new Democratic potential star. Here's her ad.
Everything that's wrong in Washington had to start someplace. Well, it started with this man who was elected a lifetime ago and who has, bit by bit, year by year, turned Washington into something we all despise, where dysfunction and chaos are political weapons, a place where ideals go to die.
Ideals go to die.
Pretty foreboding.
And he would be, in her political narrative, he would be the murderer.
That's exactly right, and she's going to prosecute that case. There's something else she's doing that's rather unconventional. She's actually trying to appeal to Trump voters. She knows that Trump is going to be at the top of the ticket. McConnell may be in the mid-30s, but Trump actually is still doing very well. McGrath cannot win unless she gets people to split their tickets. So one of the more unconventional things she did was to actually say Mitch McConnell is blocking Donald Trump from reducing our prescription drug costs. It's risky, but it's actually a smart strategy, I have to say. She needs those ticket splitters to come to her.
So far, it sounds like, for people who don't like Mitch McConnell, a ton of good news. What happens, though, when she has to balance this national fundraising support, this enthusiasm from the resistance, with what you just alluded to, vaguely, as is your way, you're a politician.
I'm a retired politician.
Oh,
I'm liberated.
Are you not a politician anymore?
I'm free.
You look a little bit like a politician, but, you know, my job is just to call it as I see it. But you're vaguely alluding to something that you know, as having run these kind of races, is everyone loves to get out there and say, be strong, be tough, be blue, whatever, right? Yeah. You had to work with people running in swing districts, in red districts.
That's right.
They can't just say everything that an AOC might say.
No, you've got to reflect the sensibilities of your community, of your district. It's like when you drive cross country and you're listening to the car radio, in some areas you're getting country music, in other areas you're getting NPR, or you're getting Ari Melber on your radio.
On your Sirius radio?
On your Sirius radio.
Shout out to Sirius.
Like that. And so you've got to reflect local sensibilities. You've got to appeal to your voters.
And you think she can do that? I
think she can. She's got a military background that appeals to more conservative voters, but she stands up for very important issues like reducing prescription drug costs and making sure people have affordable health care, which is very popular in Kentucky.
Well, I got you. Last question on a different topic. Pelosi versus AOC.
Yeah.
It's heating up. No Twitter. Who's right?
Pelosi. Look, I understand it. I get that you have a group of people who've come to Congress. It's a group of people who have one priority, and it is their ideology. Nancy Pelosi has several priorities. Her priority is beating Donald Trump, reflecting the consensus of her Democratic House caucus, and making sure that she retains a Democratic majority. So she's got to juggle a bunch of balls. Do you think the speaker
is being strategic?
Yes.
Or is she also personally just annoyed with some of the new members?
No, I think she's being strategic. I mean, I've seen this woman face insurmountable annoyances. Cool, calm, and collected. She's being strategic. She's keeping her priorities in mind.
Are you suggesting that being the leader of the Democratic caucus involves a lot of annoying stuff you have to deal with? I can't imagine.
I was the chief annoying person.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.